Good morning, beautiful ones. It's Nicole Hines here, Bella Barra Holistic Aesthetics. I want to talk to you a little bit about permanent hair removal and just dealing with the pesky hairs. So I was recently hit up and asked a little bit about one of our serums and if it would stop hair growth, and the answer is no. The FDA currently only recognizes one form of a procedure that permanently removes hair permanently, and that's electrolysis. And I don't know about other states, but here in the state of Kansas, for whatever reason, even in terms of training and licensing, it seems to be it's on the decline for whatever reason as a profession. So if any of you are looking into a profession, maybe you want to look into electrolysis or if it's still even viable. But electrolysis is the only permanent form of hair removal recognized currently by the FDA. Now there's laser. Laser is permanent, but not. Laser surgery, laser treatments come in several treatments, just like with electrolysis, but there seems to be, like, over time where the body heals itself, or also probably just with age, I don't know, and things that happen. It seems that with the laser surgery, as well as, the FDA doesn't recognize it like the electrolysis, the hairs will grow back, or you will have to get maintenance treatments over time with the laser surgery. Not laser surgery, with the laser hair removal treatments. So with the laser hair removal, I do know that it takes, like, depending upon where you go, and of course what equipment they're using, it's going to take maybe 8 or 9 treatments in order to permanently remove. And again, I'm using in quotation marks because over time you will more than likely need more treatments. I have clients who've had laser treatments, and in digging in, some went through all the recommended treatments, some did not, because they got excited about the hair not growing back and didn't follow through with all of their treatments. So the hair will come back over time. But with electrolysis, from what I understand, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, I think you're pretty much good if you use electrolysis. So with that being said, when we move on to threading and waxing and sugaring, over time, when you were doing those types of treatments on a regular basis, where we are pulling the hair out of the hair follicle, I forgot to bring my diagram over here, sorry you guys, but when you're pulling the hairs out of the hair follicle, you are shocking those nerves and shocking those hair follicles. So you are, excuse me, sorry, you are actively creating what's called traction alopecia. So traction alopecia means that over time those hair follicles will start to die, or at least slow down the production of a new hair. So that's why, like, if you get Brazilians, if you've been getting Brazilians, say for 5 years, back when you first started, the hair was probably really dense, meaning thick. And now, instead of going every 4 weeks or feeling like you needed a Brazilian every 3 weeks, excuse me, you might only need one every 4 weeks or 5 weeks. Like, the time has extended out, and that's because over time, causing traction alopecia, those hair follicles start to die, and you just don't need it as often. It's not your imagination, that really happens. The other thing that you'll notice from sugaring, waxing, and also threading, if you thread your brows, is that the hair texture will seem different. That's because when you have to produce a new hair and it's got to grow through the skin, it's got a downy, pointy end on it, which is going to give the appearance of being a different texture than when you have hairs that you cut down when you're shaving to the surface, that I think of as like little tree trunks that have a flat, round, sharp edge around them, the circumference of each hair. So when you run your hands across a shaved hair, it's going to feel differently. The way light is going to reflect on it, it's going to look thicker. It's going to have a completely different appearance than when you pull hairs out and then allow them to have to fight their way through the skin with that downy, pointy end. So it will give a different appearance to texture on it. I'm trying to think of anything else. I don't want to get too in the weeds going the wrong direction in the topic of this video. I really just wanted to talk about what you can do for pretty much not having to think about the hairs, where the unwanted hairs on your body, wherever you want them to stay gone for a long time. I did have a client say to me, I noticed, as she was getting her Brazilian, I noticed that hairs grow in about 10 days after a Brazilian. Yeah, because you're alive. So if you're new to having hair removal, of waxing or sugaring or threading, even tweezing your brows, because that's also the same type of modality in terms, well, they're not the same modality, but in terms of what's happening where you're pulling it out of the hair follicle, yeah, you're alive. Your skin is a live organ. So you're going to be hairless, like smooth, no hairs after having hair removed. If you're lucky, for 7 to 10 days before those hairs are going to start to grow back in. I have a client that'll be here any minute. She comes every 3 weeks because she has an aversion to hair. That's the reality of it. In that 3 weeks, when she comes in today, she's gonna have hairs I'm gonna need to remove. That's about 21 days since the last time I saw her, but she comes every 3 weeks versus most of my clients come every 28 to 38 days, just based upon their own personal preference. But yeah, when you're having hairs removed, if you can get to 12 or 13 days before you start to see any hairs growing in from removing hair from follicles, that's just your own body's metabolism and how slowly or quickly it's growing a hair. But it's not like from Brazilian to Brazilian, or sugaring or waxing or threading from one surface to the next, that you're not going to have any hair at all, that your skin is going to be completely smooth. That's not going to happen. And that's a good thing, right? Because it means you're alive and your body is functioning in the way it's supposed to, which is producing a new hair for you. You just don't want it. So I think that's really important to always keep in mind when you go for any kind of hair removal service. You're not going to get 3 weeks with no hair growing in or anything like that. It's immediately your body is going to want to replace what has been removed from your body. It is a live organ. I'm that esthetician that's always screaming about, remember that your skin is a live organ. It is the largest organ that you have. When you get acne, it's trying to tell you that something is wrong, whether something it's being exposed to on the outside or something you're doing on the inside that it doesn't like. And acne is a signal being sent to you to tell you that, hey, something's not right in this environment. We need to get it together. So anyway, I don't want to digress. This was about hair removal. If you have any questions, hit me up.